I'm now going to teach you how to make a kheer. A kheer is a rice pudding, and this is going to have a unique twist to it, means it's going to actually have a different flavor. Normally a kheer is basically rice cooked in milk, and in that you add some green cardamom for flavoring. In my rice preparation, I'm not going to have any green cardamom, but I'm going to add a fruit. I'm going to add blackberry. I am going to use blackberry, but there is nothing stopping you from adding anything else. I am going to start cooking, and as I cook I am going to explain to you what all you can add and how you can add it. I have some basmati rice here. The basmati rice has been washed once very lightly into cold water. That rinses away all the impurities. The rice goes in to the pan, and in the rice we add some water. Now this is slightly unusual way of making it, because normally in India you would add milk into it and bring it to a boil, but I like to cook my rice into water because you get a much lighter rice. It's not very heavy. Although I love rice pudding the way they make it in India, I always find that it's very heavy. I like to keep my food very light. So we're going to put that on and bring it to a boil. As soon as the water comes to a boil, I will then add in that some milk and cream mixture, which I have here. It's basically equal parts of milk and equal parts of cream, and that will go into the rice, and you boil the mixture. Once the mixture boils, you put the heat on to slow, and you let the rice simmer in the mixture of water, milk and cream till the rice cooks through all the way and absorbs all the moisture, absorbs all the creaminess of the milk and the cream. I don't add any sugar in my dish right till the end, and the reason for that is if I add the sugar initially, the rice will cook through, the sugar will melt through, and as the sugar melts through and cooks, the color will begin to change and it will take on the caramel color. Now if it takes on the caramel color, the rice pudding will not be the same color as what I want it to be white. It will have a golden touch to it. I don't want it to be golden at all. I want it to be pure white. Now as a pure white base, I will then add flavors into it, and in my instance here I am going to use blackberries. It is something which is very nice color and a very nice flavor. There is nothing stopping you from trying to use mulberries or trying to use raspberries or strawberries. The choice is entirely yours. You can add mango into it, you can add pineapple into it, entirely what you like to cook with. I love the color of blackberries, and this is what I am going to use. What I have also done, I have made a puree of blackberries. To make the puree of blackberries, all you need are basically fresh blackberries, a pan, put them into a pan with a very small amount of water, and you bring it to a boil. And as soon as it comes to a boil, you lower the heat and let it simmer in the pan for a little while, for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and you add sugar into that. Once after 2 minutes, you take it off, keep it aside, and when it's cool, you blitz it into a coarse puree. Now when you blitz it into a coarse puree, you get a certain bite of the blackberry into your food, and hence you will see here that the puree has got a grainy texture, and that is because its fresh purees just blitz up into a blender to give it the nice coarse kind of a texture, and that will flavor the rice. The water is coming to a boil. As soon as the water comes to a boil, I am going to add in the milk and the cream mixture. This will take at least 18 to 20 minutes to absorb all the moisture. You guys have a break, come back, and you can finish off the rice. The rice has cooked through, is reduced down. If you look at it, it's become quite creamy and rich. At this stage, I am going to add sugar. Now once I add sugar, it does thin down slightly. This sugar is going to stir it. Now after I add the sugar, all I have to do is I have to stir it into the warm rice mixture just to make sure it melts. I do not want to cook it for too long, and because you are adding the sugar now, it melts and becomes slightly thin. Once all the sugar melts. I'm going to transfer it to a bowl to cool down the rice mixture. You can serve the rice pudding warm, it's perfectly fine, but it is too flat. It is just milk and sugar and rice. There is no spice into it, there is no flavor into it. And the reason why I haven't put any flavor, because I want the flavor of the blackberry to come through. If you want to add flavor, you can add fennel seed powder, you can add cardamom powder, it is perfectly fine. I like to have it entirely pure blackberry flavor, so hence no spice. In India, they would probably add black cardamom or green powder cardamom or even cinnamon while boiling the milk to impart more flavors. Perfectly fine. But for this dish, I want it very plain, very neutral. I need to taste to see if the sugar is okay. There is a small amount of sugar in my puree also, so I don't want it too strong or too sweet. Perfect. Just right. I'm going to transfer this into a bowl, cool it down. It will take me half an hour. Have a short break, come back, and we're going to finish it off with the blackberry puree. Our rice is ready. It's cooled down. Let's have a look. There we are. Nice and thick rice. Lots of flavor of milk, cream, rice flavor, and a wee bit of sugar, just enough. In this, I am going to add in a few halves of blackberry. You can use blueberries if you want to use blueberries, but blackberries work well. I just think the texture, the color is quite nice. Blueberries in the rice. Now I'm going to fold in the puree. The puree, because it's been pureed, it's not going to be black in color. It will be purplish color. You're going to spoon the puree in the rice and I'm going to fold it all together. And you'll see the color will change from being white into purplish. And it will have all the lovely flavors of the blueberry in it. If you leave this in the fridge again for a good 4 to 5 hours, the color of the blueberry will get much stronger. The natural colors are going to infuse into the rice and make it a rich blueberry or a rich violet color to the rice. And that is the kind of a color which I wanted to get to show you how beautiful natural food products are, how they actually infuse colors into different things and how beautiful it can look. I am going to add a little more and just stir it all together. It will thin down the rice, but that is perfectly fine. This dish, I would not like to serve it warm, but just cold because of the fruit. I do not like to eat berries in a warm fashion. Not that you can't eat berries in a warm fashion, but with the rice pudding, I don't think it works well. A little taste, very important. Perks of the job. Oh, nice. Has a lovely flavor of blueberries. Very natural, very clean. I'm going to add in a little bit of cashew, lightly crushed cashew. Cashew which has been pre-roasted. This goes in and the dish is ready. All I need to do is now put it on to my cute little spoon. Always make an effort to try and put into something very unusual, something different, something which is, it looks nice, is appealing. So when you take it to your guests or to your families, and they look and say, oh wow, that is nice, it's a bit different. Yes, it's a bit different, but the flavors are what are most important. And that is what good food does, it makes you feel happy. The spoon, the rice, the blueberry and the cashew nut rice onto the spoon. So spoon the rice onto the spoon. How nice is that? A generous portion. I am a very generous man. I like to share my food. And look at that. That color is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful flavors of blueberry, the crunch of the cashew. Clean up. Going to add a couple of cashews on the dish. I'm going to take a blackberry, cut it into half, and there it goes. on top. Sensational colors, clean flavors, beautifully done, cooked with so much of love and care. And that color is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Here you are, my blueberry rice kheer with cashew nuts. Enjoy!